Hey all, welcome back to my channel, Itsuchi here, and we have a few things to talk about in this update. I'm excited for this one. Lots of goodies. Let's just go ahead and jump in and get started. This is a more broad update to the game. I made just while developing the latest movesets, there were tons of little snags and things that I ran into and needed a lot of extra testing. So just the game in general got overall polished. One thing that I added in the process was new game settings for rounds. Originally, the rounds used to only go up to 5. I added the options for 7 or 9. For those that don't understand the round rules, so this is the max number of rounds possible for a classic battle or a team battle for the stamina, specifically for stamina battles. So 1 round just means you play up to 1 round, that 1 round settles it. 3 rounds means best 2 out of 3, meaning 3 total possible rounds. If each character was to win 1, you will use the 3rd round to settle it. 5 rounds means 5 max, which means best 3 out of 5. So again, if both characters have 2 rounds, that's round 4, and then you would use round 5 to settle it. That was the, I'd probably say this was probably a good standard. I'm sorry, was it 3? Yeah, no, 5 is probably the best standard. I'm sorry, 3. No, I like 3 the best. 3 is the best, because then you play 1 round, and if you lose 1 round, maybe you got 1, and then you win, the 2nd round. If you lose 2 times, okay, you're not good at the game. Excuse me. So 5 rounds is if you wanted a longer battle. 7 rounds is best 4 out of 7, so you have to win 4 rounds, and then 9 is you have to win the maximum of 5 rounds. This was, I think, as far as Revolution 3 went, of you having to win 5 rounds in order to win the game. So yeah, so this is the longest. I don't expect anyone to actually realistically use this. I mean, you can if you want, if you're just really having lots of fun and you really want to test your abilities with the character, then you can go for the 9 rounds. But I mainly added this for balancing. The way I balance character is by having the AI fight each other. Yep, and then a fairly balanced character should be winning around 50% of the time. I'll take 40-60, but once you start reaching that like 30-70 rate, one of the characters is overpowered. I'll usually just go off of the general where we are, so I'll usually let them fight a couple of different characters that have already been developed, and I'll usually buff or nerf them appropriately from there. So so yeah, that's just why I have 9 rounds, so they can get I can see, because it takes the rounds, it's a way to visually keep track of how many each character has won. So yeah, so that's why I really added that, just for testing. Alright, the next thing, this one I won't show, it's just I want to hit on briefly. There have been collision bugs that have been plaguing my game ever since the beginning of development, and every time I like seem to address one, it creates another problem. So basically every version of the game has always had some version of a collision bug. Well, it turns out all of this is due to Unity. It has nothing to do with me as a developer. I mean, I guess my decision choices and not knowing Unity has all these different modes, but yeah, it's Unity just not knowing what the hell it's doing most of the time. I'll show you briefly in the editor, actually. I can show you at least visually what I'm talking about. I'll just pull up Naruto's character model. So character models, for physics, you use what's called a rigid body. And for the collision detection, this is what's been causing all the problems. So discrete is the default. Anytime you got one discrete, it's always the default. That's what it's been on always. The most recent public demo is on discrete. The problem with discrete is sometimes the models will phase through, like it doesn't detect the collision immediately. What it does is it will execute the physics as normal, and then it will check, were we supposed to collide with something? And then it'll backtrack itself on the next frame to correct itself. The problem with this is, like if you, like in free roam, for example, if I was to jump off of a cliff, I would be falling so fast that I would fall through the ground, and by the time it checked, were we supposed to collide with something, I'm already on the other side of the ground glider, and I would just fall through the ground. So this was really annoying. The same thing goes for if you were to, even in combat, if you were to jump really high in the air and then land, sometimes the smoke effects would appear under the ground, because when you land, it runs the code for, okay, you've hit the ground, and then from there it goes. It plays the rest of the code based on that level, but then it'll spit you back out to the top of the ground after the fact, but it's too late. The effects have already spawned at the incorrect location. So it would just cause inconsistencies like that. So I did find a workaround for some of these by basically programming a ground level. So basically, if you land on the ground, instead of spawning the effects where you land it, you spawn the effects at the ground level. But again, this was very it was a band-aid fix. It was hiding a bigger issue of the physics not running correctly. So I did some research and I found out that I needed to set it to continuous in order to address that bug. So in the last major demo before I switched to humanoid system, I had updated it to continuous, and that's where the Chunin exams gameplay is from. All of that is from the continuous this one right here, this option. And then I started to notice, I didn't know it had anything to do with this, but I started to notice sometimes during gameplay, I would get stuck in a wall. During the gameplay of the Chunin exams, I had to restart 1 or 2 battles because I got stuck in the wall. It wasn't very frequent that it happened, but it was possible, where if I teleported inside of a wall, I would get stuck, and I was like, it's supposed to spit you out. Like, so I wasn't facing to the ground anymore, but then if I teleported, I could teleport inside of a wall. I guess it's kind of a callback to the original games, but it wasn't 100% of the time. It was like maybe like 5% of the time. Teleporting against a wall, I would get stuck inside the wall and then work my way out. And I couldn't figure out why that was just suddenly happening. So anyway, it ended up happening again, and in the editor it was consistently happening. I was like, something's wrong with the physics engine. So I looked it up, and it turns out that's a problem with continuous. So discrete skips, some frames, so you may phase through a thin wall, but as long as the wall is thick, it'll always spit you back out. It's just the thin walls that are the problem. Continuous will make sure you don't phase through any walls at all. In terms of just moving at a high velocity, you won't phase. But if you were to teleport inside of a thick wall, it's not going to spit you out like discrete would. I'm like, why is this a thing? Why is this a thing? So I did some research, and turns out continuous speculative is the best option. It's the most expensive, of course. So discrete's the least expensive. Continuous is slightly more expensive, but not that expensive. And continuous speculative is the most expensive performance-wise. Now, for my game, it's not, excuse me, for my game, it's not that big of a problem, like in terms of I don't have that many things using continuous speculative, only the characters. So at max, maybe 11 characters are on screen at the same time fighting, which is in the 1v10 Kumite. So shouldn't be that big of an issue. Maybe in the free roam section, when you're doing the hack and slash, obviously there'll be a lot of characters, but you're not fighting in that mode, so you don't need, there's not as much going on, so you can afford it, the extra checks. But in gameplay, there'll only ever be up to 11 characters with the current plant setup. So, and I asked, I searched around to see if that was going to be an issue, having continuous speculative for that 11 characters, and generally consensus was probably not. It's not until you get to like 50 and above, where that starts to become a problem, and I'll never have 50 players on screen at one time. I think Kumite, like the in-game, only spawns between 25 and 30 anyway. So yeah, so we should be good. So I switched to continuous speculative, and this finally addressed all the collision issues. So I don't fall through the ground when I fall from high heights in the free roam, and I also don't phase through walls. I don't teleport inside of walls anymore. So finally, we have consistent collision detection. It did cause some bugs with landing and jumping, but I addressed those through adding like one line of code, just slightly redoing the logic, and I addressed those through the code. So now we finally have working collision. Okay, so let's talk about some new characters. So, as the thumbnail implies, or blatantly states, there are some new characters in the game. Anyway, the character added would be, so obviously I showed you guys Iruka and Mizuki last time, but I added in Ebisu, or I guess added him back, and I did update his model. His model is now more accurate, more done. I touched it up in Blender, so his model's a little bit better than it was before. So Ebisu is back in the game. That's because I needed him for some testing on the moveset that we will talk about in a quick minute. So, but yeah, just wanted to add Ebisu back to the roster. So, yeah, now we have Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, Kakashi, Shikamaru, Ino, Choji, and Hinata, and I just need to add in the last characters. This is what I need to add in that you guys know of is Kiba, Shino, Haku, and Zabuza. So I still got to add those 4, and there may or may not have been some additions that I decided to add after the fact, but don't worry about that right now. I'll keep that one as a surprise. So anyway, so yeah, and then you have obviously Iruka, and then which is the Leaf Ninja character specifically. So that's why I put it in parentheses right here for Leaf Ninja. So the Leaf Ninja is the actual character, and then within that Leaf Ninja you have the variations. Basically the way costumes work is each costume is a different character, with some variations allowed for some of them, you know, primary cast, like Iruka does have a couple of different versions. Mizuki has a few, Ebisu has a few. This is basically his part 1 outfit. This is his Shippuden appearance, and this is during the Allied Shinobi Forces, because all these Leaf Ninja, I don't want the Allied Shinobi Forces to be full of like nameless ninja. I want them to predominantly be comprised of named ninja, and if I still need some extra people in there to fill in the space after all the named ninja that are alive are included, then I will add in generic ninja. But yeah, you should be seeing predominantly named ninja in the Allied Shinobi Forces, and faces that would make sense. Like, there's no reason why Ebisu was not given screen time in the war. He was absolutely in that war. So yeah, so all these people, but Mizuki obviously is a villain, so he doesn't get a war outfit. But Iruka does show up in the war when he at the island, so he also gets an Allied Shinobi. Anyway, yeah, so Ebisu has been added to the roster. Okay. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me look at that really quickly. Sorry, I just noticed 136 character models in the game, and we don't even have all of, and this is just season 1. These are only including season 1 characters. Only including season 1 characters. We have 136 models in this game so far, and we still gotta add in the Hinata, Kiba, I'm sorry, not Hinata, Kiba, Shino, Haku, Zabuza, and maybe someone else. Yeah, that's crazy. Look at that. Named characters 11, roster spots 9, total outfits 71, and 136 models total. That's bonkers. That's crazy. Storm would never. Storm would never. In terms of outfits, like have that many actual canon, mostly canon outfits. Anyway, let's jump into a practice match and talk about some interesting stuff. So, as I mentioned prior in a post, there are now 10 characters that have unique movesets. Those 10 characters include Naruto Uzumaki, PTS, Kyuubi Naruto, PTS, Sasuke, PTS, Sharingan Sasuke, PTS, Sakura, PTS, Kakashi, Sharingan Kakashi. Mangekyo does have a unique moveset, but it's basically just Sharingan Kakashi's moveset. It's the jutsu that change, because it's just Sharingan. Mangekyo is just Sharingan, but you use Mangekyo jutsu. So Sharingan and Mangekyo generally will always have the same movesets for characters that have both forms. Their jutsu is what change, and they get obviously the Mangekyo properties, like using Susanoo and stuff like that. And then we have Iruka, Mizuki, and Ebisu. And you may say, well, Matt, those are all just clones. Not exactly! And that segues into the Leaf Ninja moveset. Let's start with Iruka. Oh, random stage. Oh, look at that. Basically a canon stage. I haven't decided what forest stage I want to use for this fight. Because, like, there's the forest at night, and then which has the upper and the lower halves. The lower half will be the most canon. Oh, we're in the upper half, so not canon. Then there's also the Forest of Death Knight, but I don't think I'll use that one because it has a waterfall and they didn't fight by water. So I think I'll be using this stage, Leaf Forest at Night, or the Forest at Night. But we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, let's talk about some moves. I'll turn on my inputs, at least for Iruka so you guys can see. So let's talk about Leaf Ninja character. So Leaf Ninja character has a full moveset now. Yay! It's been such a long time since we've had a GameCube exclusive playable. Look, we're playing as GameCube characters on a Wii stage. Yeah, and all the moves are here, as you remember them from vanilla GNT 4. I thought about, well, not thought about, I do want to look at Super. I keep forgetting to look at Super GNT4 and see what changes they make to see if they're worth implementing, if there's anything good worth implementing. But since I am expanding these movesets, there's kind of no point in pulling from GNT Super too much, because GNT Super is kind of about refreshing and balancing. This game will automatically be refreshed just by being on a new engine and by the general moveset expansions that I'm doing overall. I haven't done an exhibition with him yet, so I may do that at the end of this video to do a quick exhibition to see what he's looking like total moves. But anyway, yeah. So, oh yeah, and of course, yeah, your teleports. Yeah. So, So you may have noticed too when I just did the teleport, his teleport used to be 4A, but now it's back A. That's because taunting, which don't worry, I'll polish animation later. Taunting is now, remember we worked to 4Y, so that means 4A is free for a new combo move. In Iruka's case, he had a teleport that was mapped to 6A, which is forward A, but I'm trying to keep teleports. Teleports have always, like, historically been tied to back A. The same was for Sakura. Her back A was her taunt, and her 4A, her 6A was her teleport. But same thing with her. She got a new 6A being her sliding kunai, and then her back A became her teleport. And the same goes for Iruka, which is actually the same teleport as Sakura. They have the same back A. Because Iruka is actually comprised of a lot of... He's basically half of his moveset is borrowed moves from other characters. So the way it works is if you use the teleport from back, it just teleports you forward. It doesn't teleport you behind. It's just a fixed distance forward. But if that teleport does move you to the other side of the character, it will turn you around. So you can combo from that. And it's pretty good. It's a pretty good move. The AI uses it pretty well. And yeah, it's a pretty good move. Anyway, yeah, his teleport got back mapped. So that means I have a new option for 6A. This is where the changes to the Leaf Ninja character come in. That's from both a Ultimate Clash Ninja game standpoint and a Leaf Ninja character standpoint. So 4A, which is back A, is the only A move that is shared between all Leaf Ninja. Every single other A combination is going to be different depending on which character you pick. So all of the A combos, basically the ninja tool is what changes between characters. This means that's why I counted Mizuki and Ebisu as their own characters, because they use different tools, meaning their A combos are different from each other. So Iruka uses Shuriken predominantly, small Shuriken. Remember, in my game, each ninja tool has its own properties if you enhance it with chakra. So Shuriken are fast ninja tools. They're quick and nimble. They're not the highest in damage, but they're quick, so they're harder to dodge. And if enhanced with chakra, they become tracking Shuriken. So like if I charge all of these, they spread out and only 2 hit. If I enhance them, they all track. So now all 6 of them are pretty much guaranteed to hit, because they're all going to hone in. So tracking Shuriken are helpful, especially too if you like were to do like a combo. Let's say I send him launch. Oops, didn't mean to use a special. But let's just say he was laying on the ground. I could track Shuriken, and the Shuriken will follow him and attack him while even on the ground. So so Shuriken have unique properties. The only thing is Shuriken are also limited. Oh yeah, that goes for jump A and up A as well. He will throw Shuriken. So all of these are based on Iruka being a Shuriken user. Not every single character though will always have a completely different move. So for example, since Iruka uses Shuriken, I want it A is Shuriken, and you can charge up A will be Shuriken, jump A will be Shuriken, but 2A and 6A are both going to be melee attacks, but using a ninja tool, and Shuriken can't really be used melee. Shuriken are only exclusively projectiles, pretty much. So with Iruka's case, what'll happen is I'm going to default Kunai as the option to go to if they're using a weapon that can't be used as a melee attack. So in Iruka's case, up is a projectile, that can be a projectile, this can be a projectile, that can be a projectile, but 6A and 2A cannot be projectiles. So for that reason, the default will go back to Kunai. 2A, they always had, the Leaf Ninja from GNT4 always had the 2A option. So that was, sorry for the slowdowns in the editor and recording and computer's hot. So 2A is normal. That was always in the game for kunai users. That's now just exclusive for kunais and those who don't have melee weapons. And then 6A I took from Kakashi. So that's Kakashi's 6A, base Kakashi's. Since Kakashi's technically a Leaf Ninja as well, I decided to, if there's a filler option, I decided to pull from Kakashi. So yeah, and then if you do 6A, I basically want 6AA to basically just map to 2A. So 6AA would then switch back to 2A. So creating a melee attack. So if you only want one melee attack, do 2A. If you want 2 melee attacks in there, then you do 6A. And then that'll give you 2 options. Yeah. Look at that! Flashy combo. Hold on, let me try this. Hold on, I didn't do it right. I want to do... There we go. That's a nice combo. That's a pretty looking combo. Alright. So that's how it works. Yeah. And that segues into my next point is different Leaf Ninja will have different ninja tools, depending on what they use. Obviously, we all know Mizuki's going to have Giant Shuriken. I'll show that off in a second, but I want to show you a quick clip from the anime. I'll keep it super short so I don't get copyrighted. So this is my idea for the Leaf Ninja character. So here's a quick clip from when Kakashi teams up with Leaf Ninja and Choji to fight Pain. Look at this clip. So we get expansion jutsu, we get Shuriken with this weird release, we got Kunai in there. And then he obviously deflects everything. There's also a point earlier in this fight where other Leaf Ninja attack too with like fire style and things like that. So the idea is that each Leaf Ninja will have its own ninja tool. Their general moveset, like the bees, these are just generic moves like Leaf Ninja would use, teleports and things of that nature. Just traditional ninja moves, punches, kicks, things of that nature, trips, uppercuts, just generic Leaf Ninja moves for the main moveset, and then your A moves is where you get character specific. So that's how the Leaf Ninja character is designed to work. And it's based off of the anime, off the show. All those were different characters, just using different ninja tools. They're all the same again as that character, just using different ninja tools. That's what's different between them. And this is consistent through part 1 and part 2 of Shippuden. You never see Leaf Ninja using specialized moves. They may just have like a special ninjutsu or a tool or something like that. And that's how this is the character works in my game. This is the brilliance of it. So now I will switch to Mizuki. We'll run him again. So Mizuki, I'm partially done with. So I think Iruka, I'm pretty much done. There's not really much more to add to Iruka with the Shuriken, just because Shuriken is just not a very versatile tool. But Giant Shuriken are a little bit more versatile. So obviously right off the bat, his A will be Giant Shuriken. So he's already a different character just by that much. And these link with combos too. So like BBA will always do the default tools. So Iruka's BBA would throw Small Shuriken. BBA for Mizuki will throw Giant Shuriken. And they have different properties too. So throw it regularly and it sends the player up. Enhance the Giant Shuriken and it sends them back. So yeah. Anyway, so that's how it works. And then, let me see, what else? Oh yeah, so the same thing with Mizuki for now is I decided, how do you really use a Giant Shuriken as a melee attack? It's also kind of like a regular Shuriken, but I do think I will give him a melee attack, which will basically use the same animations as these, but instead of using the Kunai, it'll use the Giant Shuriken. Because what I'm thinking is, you remember when, and he'll get a, sorry, he won't use just this one. I'm thinking about when Obito fought Kakashi, Obito also uses Giant Shuriken. So Obito will also be, Obito won't be a Leaf Ninja, but Obito will use some of the same Fuma Shuriken, as they're called, as Mizuki. He'll borrow several moves from Mizuki's Fuma Shuriken moves. So what I'm thinking is there is one move where Obito takes 2 Giant Shuriken and he does like a cross attack against Kakashi's chest. And he makes that X mark on Kakashi's vest using 2 Fuma Shuriken. I think I'm going to add that move to Mizuki, and the animation I would use is Kyuubi Naruto's claw attack. Kyuubi Naruto has a claw attack where he does a joint claw. What I'll do is, all I do is change, instead of having claws, I change that to a holding position and I spawn in Giant Shuriken. And then the Giant Shuriken will have bigger hitboxes too. And so he'll do the same animation and he'll do that same exact motion Obito does. So I'll borrow Kyuubi Naruto's animation, but change that into a new move for Mizuki to have a cross Shuriken. I just haven't added it yet because I wanted to go ahead and get this video out because I know you guys have been waiting to see. But that's just an idea of what I was thinking about how I could make the Giant Shuriken a melee attack. Even though Mizuki never used it as a melee attack, let's just get creative here. Obito definitely used the Giant Shuriken as a melee attack, and so it can be used for melee. And since the lead character is designed to use their ninja tool as a melee attack for 6A and 2A, why not let Mizuki go ahead and use this tool in that way as well? He is skilled with the Giant Shuriken. He does carry 2 on his back. So him using 2 Giant Shuriken in a melee attack is absolutely within the character and lore for his fighting style. And also, he gets a new Dash A, because Dash A also counts. I forgot to show you Iruka's Dash A, so I'll show you in a second. So his Dash A is the same as Sasuke's, except for Sasuke uses a Demon Wind Shuriken, and Mizuki uses the Giant Shuriken. And the properties are slightly different for this one. So it's not just the exact same attack. So regular Shuriken is a multi-hit. This is a guard shattering attack. You can't guard against that one. I'll put the lore up to it being based off the angle it's thrown at. So being thrown at a regular angle and slower is fine, but when you do it this way, it's always going to be a guard shatter. And the same goes for Demon Wind Shuriken as well. Yeah. So try to guard against those. Press down or dodge it. So yeah. So what I'll show you briefly next is... Just I forgot to show you his attack, so I'll do it this way. That's what it's supposed to be. Well, which is the Kunai attack, yeah. So it's usually a Kunai attack for the dash A. Yeah. So that's the normal dash A. For Kunai, since, again, Shuriken can't be used as a melee attack, then he will just borrow the default Kunai. And last but not least is Ebisu Sensei. So Ebisu, and I'll just play it. Fine, Kakashi, because why not? Ebisu is a Kunai user, so he is going to rely. Kunai can be used as projectiles, and it can be used as melee attacks. So obviously, he will throw Kunai, and of course, he will have, the Kunai melee attacks. Look at this, guys. It's Ebisu playable in a Clash Ninja game. And this is so within... Like, Ebisu is such a just generic Leaf Jonin character. He is such a Leaf Ninja character. And look, he's playable in a game. Storm would never. Oh yeah, still gotta throw animations. Oh yeah, I guess I didn't show you the... Woo! And the taunt does work too. Let me put on computer so you guys can see the taunt move. That is also in the game. They'll probably use a jutsu on me. Not that one. You have to get hit with an actual melee attack. Oh, well. There you go. Not doing that. Oh, he's reading his book. There you go. So yeah, that's the taunt move. We'll turn this aggressive computer off. Yeah, so, yeah, those are Ebisu's moves. So yeah, Ebisu has Kunai, and the perk of Kunai is Kunai can be turned into paper bombs when you enhance them. So there, again, because Ninja Tools have that unique property of being able to get enhanced with chakra to change its property, this actually gives... Oh my god, slow down, stop it! This gives their strategy in which Leaf Ninja character you pick. It depends on your playstyle. Do you prefer being able to throw paper bombs, which blow up, and have bigger hitboxes because of the explosions? Do you prefer the tracking Shuriken for a little bit extra skill? What melee attack do you want? Do you like the Kunai's melee attacks? Kunai are stronger melee attacks. So yeah. So which Leaf Ninja character you pick will depend on based on your playstyle. There will be duplicates because you can't place the same because of the way multiplayer character selection works. You can't. With Echo characters, you can't play as the same character even if they have a different outfit. So even though Ebisu has multiple outfits, the way it's set up right now, you can only pick Ebisu once. So that means there will need to be duplicates of the moveset with other characters. And there's also not enough tools to give every single Leaf character that I plan a unique moveset. Sorry. So there will be duplicates. For an example, Genma also uses a Kunai. He doesn't really use a special ninja tool, though he's frequently seen with the Kunai in his hand. So Genma will also use a Kunai just like Ebisu. So if you want to use Kunai, pick Ebisu or Genma. They will be selectable as the same character. So if you want, again, if you want to be able to, if someone picks the Ebisu and you're like, oh no, I want it to use the Kunai, then you'll pick Genma. Same thing for Shuriken. There'll be more characters that use Shuriken. There'll also be more ninja tools. For example, I already announced that I did plan on adding Hayate as a playable character. So Hayate, we know, uses Kenjutsu, which is a sword. So guess what? His A moves will not have any projectiles. He will use sword attacks based off of Yugao. So what Yugao's, I'll get some of Yugao's A combos to make sword attacks for him. So he won't be able to throw projectiles at all. He'll be a Kenjutsu user, and there'll be other sword users as well. If you saw in that scene, I think it was in this scene that I showed you guys earlier, maybe it was the other one that I didn't show, there was a Leaf Ninja that has a giant sword on his back. Instead of letting these just be filler characters in the show, I'm going to make these real ninja in the game. And so those characters will be able to use a giant sword based off of like Zabuza, the guillotine sword. It won't have the same exact properties or strength as the guillotine sword, but it'll be, you know, you'll be able to walk up and you'll do a giant slash of this gigantic sword, a long sword. So each character will have a different attacks that weapons they use. You saw the Akamichi's expansion. So if I ever added an Akamichi, I'm neither confirming nor denying that. If I added an Akamichi clan member as a Leaf Ninja character, his A moves would be partial expansion jutsu, things of that nature. You know, his up A would be like, they borrow the moves from Choji basically. If I wanted to add an Aburame, neither confirming nor denying. Leaf Ninja, again, generic moves for the B combos, but then your A combo would be sending bugs. Your 6A would be Shino's 6A. All the A attacks that use bugs, you could have a full Aburame character without actually having to, you know, all I do is change in that ninja tool, aka special A ability, ninjutsu ability, to whatever I need it to be, and create more and more characters that, yeah, that work. And that way you can have representation without having to go do the hassle of, you know, adding in full, unique, cohesive movesets. This is a way to shortcut for the side characters. They don't need to be fully fleshed out in terms of uniqueness, having this 100% unique moveset. They just need to have representation for what they do. So again, if I did want to make Shibi Aburame playable, I can do that by combining the Leaf Ninja's generic B moves, which are already fun to use and very good, and then pair that with Shino's bug moves to create an Aburame character that's unique to all the other characters on the roster, but like zero effort to add them. Like just the minimal effort, but smart, working smart. It's called working smart, not necessarily working hard, but working smart to have more representation in the game. So the Leaf Ninja character will work like this way. This is how the Clout Ninja will work, so on and so forth. Last thing I wanted to touch on before I move into an exhibition was just AI behavior. I did tweak the AI. I'll show you just a quick couple of seconds of battle. I tweaked the AI between each character too, because characters have different strongs and weak points. They have moves that are good for them and moves that are bad for them. Hence is the, you know, case of balancing. So that works for Leaf Ninja as well. For example, they need to lean a little bit heavier into their ninja tools because that's what makes them unique. If they just spam all the B moves, it's just going to be uninteresting. So I'll show you a quick battle between, let's say, Iruka and Mizuki, and just pay attention to how they fight differently. They use different moves. Like Mizuki's, I programmed him to lean heavier into those Shuriken because they're good. So let's just take a look at their AI behavior.
Get ready. One shot. First round. Begin. Take this.
So you'll definitely basically see Mizuki using his ninja tool more often than Iruka because he's programmed that way, because that's his good move, that's his specialty. His giant shuriken are pretty strong. Actually, they were almost overpowered for a moment. I had to remove just slightly reduce the frequency that I used it just a little bit because he was dominating each battle because he has a guard shattering attack. They can dodge it sometimes, but I mean, look at him, he's dominating Iruka right now. I still need to tweak their movesets a little bit more for balancing. I was doing a lot of balancing last night. This slowdown is so annoying. It's because I'm in the editor, guys. Like, the editor uses a lot more power than a built game. I just haven't built the game yet because it's just not in a state that needs to be built. Like, Kumite and stuff doesn't even work. So the character select's going to be redone, so I just do all my testing in the editor, which runs poorly when you're trying to record. So I'm recording with the hot computer, and in the editor, it's just not going to run smoothly. On my old computer that has a dead battery in it. But anyway, you can see like Mizuki just fights differently from Iruka. Even though they have almost the same moveset, they fight very different. Like, they feel different characters. So yeah, I just think that's cool. I will add in, you may have noticed Mizuki's throwing Shuriken or Kunai as projectiles for the moment for his up A and his JA. That's just because I'm lazy and I have to add in the logic to throw Shuriken instead of Kunai / small Shuriken. I have to add in the logic to throw giant Shuriken. I did it for the neutral A, but I need to do it for when he's jumping from the air to throw them downwards, and also when he throws them upwards. I just haven't done it yet, but that will change. So for now, it's just defaulting to Kunai, but that will get changed shortly. And he'll throw Shuriken instead. Anyway, we're not going to use Jutsu because, yeah. So, anyway, you can see they're pretty, as you look up here, you can see, I mean, Mizuki wins, but obviously it was closer than it looks. So, I still may need to nerf Mizuki a little bit because he does dominate most of the fight, so I may still need to nerf him, but we'll see. Alright, the last thing we will do here is, I'm just going to go into an exhibition, because I just realized I haven't seen it yet. And we'll just see kind of what, generally speaking, their moves are looking like. In terms of the Leaf Ninja character. Who do I want to show? Should we do Iruka? Or Mizuki? I'm going to do Mizuki because Mizuki has the most, I don't know, I don't know. 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 I don't know Yeah, he has the most unique moves in terms of like deviating from just throwing a projectile that's a kunai or a shuriken. He has the giant shuriken, so it is going to look different, but also I haven't programmed his logic for his projectiles either. So yeah, I think Mizuki will be the most well-rounded character to show.
You can defeat me.
So let's just see roughly what we're looking at in terms of an exhibition.
Take you out in one shot.
I haven't done this since his moveset's been completed, so I generally have no idea how many options there are. I did expand the moveset. I'm hoping for 50 or more true combos. That's usually, I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be 50, but it would be nice if it was 50 or more. And then total battle options would just be with all the variations. Such a great attack. I love it. I should probably program them to, because Mizuki's the first that has an attack that sends the character that far away, and I just realized that can be really time consuming watching them slowly walk. I think I should program logic where if the distance between the characters is super far, then run up to them instead of walk. I already measured the distance, so I can just add in like one line of code. If distance is greater than blah, dash. If distance otherwise, walk. So yeah, that shouldn't be too difficult. I mean, hey, we're already like a quarter of the way there, and we're still on the B combos, like neutral B combos specifically. We haven't gotten to the alternate B combos, so we're doing good. Meaning, what this means is, yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll hit more than 50 true combos. A true combo means not a variant. For example, like here, like when you throw a shuriken and then you do the same combo, but then you charge the shuriken this time, that's not another move. It's the same move. You're just choosing to charge it, which is an option. So I think I've explained this before, the difference between a true combo and a battle option. So true combos are unique inputs that will cause different moves to come out, but if that one move can be tweaked to do something different, like holding it to change its tier, it's the same move, but it is a different option. So, and options are important. I want to give people options and variations in those moves beyond just pushing A or B. Timing it, how long you hold A, adding in a directional input, those should influence as well. Yeah, we're still in neutral B, and we're almost halfway where we need to be, and we're still in neutral B. I'm pretty sure we're gonna hit more, but then again, I guess the A combos are not as straightforward, so there'll be fewer A combos than there are B. So I guess yeah, B would need to dominate to begin with. And this is really good too because Exhibition also shows me how the combos work. For example, I can test it all day in gameplay, and I do tweak it to make sure the combos work in gameplay, but this fixes the characters to a fixed X-axis. And so basically I need the Exhibition to run every combo perfectly without missing. So if they're falling out of strings in Exhibition, that means there's a variation, because this adds a level of variation that I can't account for. So basically the move needs to be good enough to work in gameplay and to account for variations in the physics engine that may be unaccounted for. Something that, you're not able to calculate for due to physics being physics. They may act sporadically at times. This is Unity, you know what I'm saying? So I like watching them in Exhibition to make sure that you're not falling out of strings. I haven't been paying attention, but I haven't noticed he's fallen out. Maybe he did fall out, but that's good. I haven't noticed if he's fallen out of any strings yet, which is great. That means I don't have to tweak it anymore, because I totally forgot to. Usually I'll run through Exhibition to make sure the moveset's good, and I just didn't do that because I'm not 100% done yet. I told you I wanted to add in those last few moments for the giant shuriken for Mizuki. So, but yeah, this is good actually that we can do this together. You guys are debugging with me. It's like a live debug. Let's debug together. But yeah, so far all these moves are looking great. I also am checking for dummy moves. Basically, a dummy moves means did I leave a hole? So every combo should either have the option for it should either close out the combo completely so you can't string it, or if it strings, each string needs to have a path. And if that string doesn't have a path, it'll go to a dummy attack. So I need to make sure that they're not using any dummy attacks. Let's say maybe I gave the option for 5 BBA, but I didn't program 5 BBA, and then he does 5 BBA and then a random move comes out. That means there's a dummy move there. But so far I haven't noticed any dummy moves, yeah, and no, he's not falling out of any strings, which is fantastic! Yeah, I definitely need to tweak this to run at the distance, it's great. That giant shuriken is brutal. But I also think I need to buff it, because I didn't mean to buff it, I think I forgot to buff it for the 2nd and 3rd tiers. Because that shuriken should be doing more damage than that. They should be lethal. Basically, if you charge a giant shuriken, run from that thing. That's the kind of vibe I want to go for. We're at 37 true combos and we're still in B. I love it. It took me so long to get these teleports right because generally speaking, when you do a combo, especially one that goes airborne, with each combo link, you're just taking your character and you're updating its position as you go through the combo. It's a flow. But when you add in teleports, that's calculation. That's not physics. That's calculation. And then you've got to account for the random physics that are going to kick in when you do the teleport calculation. That's only accomplished through trial and error. So I just pick a starting, okay, I think it should teleport around here. Let's see what that happens. And then you use that as a starting point. So you just guess the first time, guesstimate the first time. And then, oh, see, there's a problem. See, and there, right there is a problem. I can't count any of these. I forgot to turn off comboing from dash B. You should not be able to combo from dash B. So I got to turn that off. So it's basically, I left it open without closing it off. So my bad. So there you go. So remove about 3 or 4 combos from this number. So we're at about 47-ish true combos. 47, 48 true combos. Anyway, but yeah, getting the teleports to work well was so much work. It took so much time to get that done. It's just the 1 move or 2 moves because it's when you teleport. It's this one. Yeah, you teleport and then you do a melee attack or teleport into a projectile attack, and getting it to work consistently with both because both moves move slightly different. To get it to consistently work, because I also need to make sure it works when the character's airborne. So like if you do the combo from the ground and you go into the air, and then if you're doing the combo while the character's already in the air via juggling, it should be working with both. And yeah, so getting it to work consistently with all the different variations, and the fact that it's also working in exhibition is such a relief because I'd spent so much time tweaking that move. I had to redo the teleportation logic. So much work had to go into making sure this game is polished. Characters aren't falling out of strings. Even in GNT4, there's some strings where the character falls out, and I was able to fix it in my game to get it to not do that. Also, something that I added was when he does his JB and he strikes the ground. In the original games, he just stands still. In my game, as you saw, he just did a little bounce back. I got the idea from QB Naruto. When QB Naruto does his thing, he does a backflip backwards, and I liked it. I didn't want to do a backflip for this because that clears a lot of distance, but just a quick hop. It's about the same recovery, but I noticed when you would land from that, sometimes it would land and the character would fall behind you. So the little hop ensures that you always are remaining facing the player, your opponent, after the end of the down B. In GNT4, sometimes you'll land in front of the character will land in front of you, sometimes you'll land behind. It's inconsistent. So I am glad that by adding in the little hop, I addressed an inconsistency that's even in the vanilla game. And sometimes the move doesn't even connect, and it connects almost always in my game. So, so yeah, even making the game more consistent than the vanilla. Also, how good does... I'm sorry, I really like the way my models look. Like, the Leaf Ninja model just looks so great to me. Damn, we're at 68 true combo. Well, like 64, 65. Because remember, the dash B is added into like 3 or 4 options that are not real. We're at over 100 total battle options. That's insane. But it's amazing. 5 minutes, Jesus. This is good. Like, this is so entertaining. It's like, I didn't think it was going to be this many. I was hopeful it would be over 50, and we've exceeded that. I don't need to do any more tweaks. The expansions have worked. The expansions have worked. And when I say expansions, I don't actually usually ever add more moves. What I'm doing is I just remap. I add in more mapping options. There are so many moves that just leave the character empty. Like, okay, this should be able to be followed up with something. Like, his 2A is just a single, like, maybe just a single kunai slice is like, that's a waste. Like, no, like, let it combo into something. And give combo variations to loop back around. Like, I think if you do 6AB, that loops you back to 5BB. So it just gives you more variations, so you can do the same combo but different variations of different versions. And just fill it in. Ideally, you should be able to basically push any button and get something to come out. Alright, these are just throws. Throws aren't done. So we ended up with 78 true combos and 75 true combos and about 110, 111 total battle options. That's phenomenal! Phenomenal. Mwah! And we're not even talking about throws or jutsu, just the core combat system for Leaf Ninja. That is what you call a great character. Storm could never. Storm, what do you get in Storm? I think you get what? Do you even get 5 combos? Like, you get like you get like a projectile, then you get a melee, and then I think you can add directions to the melee attacks maybe, and then 78 true combos, 114 unique battle options is insane. Thank you all for watching. You guys have a great day.